Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ओम ज्ञानदिवन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतपरिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांचा राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु वैष्णवी नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विष्णुपते प्रभुपदति प्रिय श्री गिरिराज स्वामी सुभक्तोरदार श्री हरि भक्ति व्यश्चात्मा दान नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण विष्णुपते विष्णुपते स्वामी सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी विशेष मुखम करोति वाचालं तम हम वंदे श्री गुरुदीनतारणम्. So this is such a beautiful chapter, the Advent of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll just read again text 5. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Chandra Bhakta Chandra Gana Sabara Prema Joshnaya Ujjvala Tribhuvana. All glories to the moons who are devotees of the principal moon, Lord Chaitanya Chandra. Like we say Krishna Chandra, Chaitanya Chandra. Their bright moonshine illuminates the entire universe. So now the moon is quite visible right now, is it? Did you notice the moon? It's quite big. It's quite visible. I don't know which tithi it is, but it's quite visible. So,
Magh Purnima was just 2 days back, right?
Oh, Magh Purnima?
Magh Purnima, yes, it was just day before.
Oh, okay. So suddenly was Chinese and I saw the moon.
Yeah, yes.
I saw the moon in post Chaitanya Chandra. The moon.
It said it was Narottam Das Thakur appearance. I think it was on Tuesday, no? And it was Purnima then, I think, and it's Basant Purnima.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's
Yes.
why it's bright.
Yeah, so you see how bright and pleasing. Anyway, when I saw it, I thought of Krishna's, rasa dance with the moon in the background. Moon, so the moon is very important when we associate the moon with Krishna and Chaitanya Chandra and the moon-like devotees. Thus, I have spoken the preface to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now I shall describe Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastime in chronological order. So all this time it was preface. Grantha Arambe, in the beginning of the book, Mukha Bandha, preface, the primary content. Mukha Bandha, the preface. So now, lila chrono, the chronological order of the pastime, anubandha, they are combined together. So bandh means, oh God, anyway, I'm trying to guess. Together, is it? Together? Mukhaband, at a glance, and the primary description at a glance. All right. Text 7. Prathameta sitra rupe kariye ganana, pachetaha vishtari kariva vivarana. Vivarana. Just let me give a synopsis of the Lord's pastimes. Sutra rupe. Then I shall describe them in detail. Then in vivarana, vistara. Taha, pache, taha, vistari, kariva, vivarana. Vistar should be, they made a mistake. The vistar means expansion, right? And vivaran means it's described. Right? Isn't it? See, we had many classes in Hindi, so we know the words.
So they've exchanged, Mataji. Vistari is written describing and Vivarna expansion. So they've
Yeah.
exchanged.
Vivarana means describe and Vistari means expanding. See, we are learning Bengali by reading Prabhupada's books.
It's a typo, probably.
Hmm?
It's a
Yeah.
typo error.
Yeah. Translation. First, let me give a synopsis of the Lord's pastime, then I shall describe them in detail. So, sutra. So, we have to learn this word, sutra. Like we say, Vedanta Sutra. See, this book already, we have seen how it seems simple, looks like so many histories, descriptions, but actually, this is high philosophy. Philosophy in action, I would say. In execution, philosophy in execution. All right. So sutra. So we heard of Vedanta Sutra. Now we are going to hear about Mahaprabhu's pasam in sutra. Sutra rupe meaning synopsis. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Navadvipe Avatare Ata Chalisha Vatsara Prakata Bihari. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, adventing himself in Navadvip, was visible for 48 years. Avatari, adventing himself, avatari. Art Chalisha, meaning 40 plus 8, enjoying his pastimes. Vatsar means years. Prakata, visible. So when we're discussing about the Supreme Lord, we say visible and invisible. Prakat and invisible is what?
Aprakat.
Aprakat.
No, adrishya.
Aprakat. Prakat, aprakat. Drushya, adrushya.
Okay, now we are speaking of prakat, meaning manifest.
Aprakat.
Right? Manifest and manifest. Right. So here the word prakata is translated as visible, meaning manifest. So the Supreme Lord became visible to us for 48 years only. You know, he didn't live long. He didn't manifest for many years. Krishna, he was visible for 125 years, right? And Mahaprabhu for only 48 years. He had too much to give. Mahaprabhu had too much to give. Very, very concentrated, extremely concentrated what he had to give. And therefore, it was not required for him to have a long, prolonged pastime. So what did he do? Chaudashata shake janmera praman. Chaudasata panchane haila antardhan. In the year 1407, Chaudashata Sat of the Shaka era, AD 1486. Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and in the year 1455, AD 1534, he disappeared from this world. He actually vanished. Mahaprabhu actually vanished. He just disappeared. He became visible and he disappeared. Antardhan. Chabisha Vatsara Prabhu Kaila Grihavas. Nirantara Kaila Krishna Kirtan Vilas. For 24 years, Lord Chaitanya lived in the Grihastha ashram, household life, always engaging in the pastimes of the Hare Krishna movement. And Prabhupada says, Krishna Kirtan, chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. 11, text 11. Chabisha Vatsara Shesh Kariya Sanyas. Ara Chabisha Vatsara Kela Nila Charavas. After 24 years, he accepted the renounced order of life, sannyas, and he resided for 24 years more at Jagannath Puri. Taramadhye Chaya Vatsara Gamana Gamana Kabhu Dakshina Kabhu Gaura Kabhu Vrindavana. Of these last 24 years, he spent the first 6 continually touring India, sometimes in South India, sometimes in Bengal, and sometimes in Vrindavan. So this is where he went. This is how he spent his sannyas. So he was in South India, he was in Bengal, and he was in Vrindavan. 3 places. So South India is also important. Next 13. Ashtadasha Vatsara Rahila Nilachale Krishna Premanamamrite Bhashala Sakale. For the remaining 18 years, okay, so 6 years he toured South India, Bengal, and Vrindavan. Then for the remaining 18 years, he continuously stayed in Jagannath Puri. Chanting the nectarine Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he inundated everyone there in a flood of love of Krishna. Garhastye Prabhura Lila Adi Lila Kya Madhyantya Lila Shesha Lila Radhuhina. The pastimes of his household life are known as Adi Lila. So we are studying the Adi Lila right now, or the original pastime. His later pastimes are known as Madhya Lila and Antya Lila, or the middle and final pastimes. Text 15. Adi Lila Madhye Prabhura Yateka Charita Sutra Rupe Murari Gupta Karila Grathita. All the pastimes enacted by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Adi Lila were recorded in summary by Murari Gupta. Text 16. Prabhuraye Shesha Lila Swarupa Damodar Sutrakari Granthilena Granthera. His later pastime, the Madhya Lila and Antya Lila, were recorded in the form of notes by his secretary, Swarup Damodar Goswami, and thus kept within a book. So, beginning was recorded by who?
Murari Gupta.
And Madhya and Antya?
Swarup Damodar.
Swarup
Swami.
Okay. Text 17. E Duijanera Sutra Dekhiya Shuniya Varnana Karena Vaishnava Kramaye Kariya. By seeing and hearing the notes recorded by these 2 great personalities, a Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, can know these pastimes one after another. So this is history. This is a recorded history. All right. Like now we learn history. We don't know who wrote those history, from where they. Anybody knows? There's so many history books in the world, right? And we sit and study them and get our degree also. So anybody knows from where they get the history, how it was recorded? Historian here. Anybody interested in history? Nobody knows, right? But all of us, we sit in school. We sit in school and we read all these history, right? And we have to write exam also, and we get our degree in history, and we pass it on to the next, and nobody knows. None of it here, just see. Just see what Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj is doing, right? What is he doing?
সূত্র দেখিয়া শুনিয়া
Hmm?
বর্ণন করেন বৈষ্ণব
He's giving us
Recording names of those who have recorded Lord Chaitanya's pastimes.
Yes. And who are they? Who are these people?
মুরারি গুপ্তা and স্বরূপ দামোদর
Yeah, we know, but what type of people were they? Who were they?
They were
devotees.
devotees.
they were always with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both of them.
They were highly, highly qualified devotees.
highly qualified.
Right? Not somebody who's just observing, who, Mahaprabhu's work, his life, his behavior, and then, speculating and writing, right?
Mm.
You understand? From far away, we watch this great preacher, we look at him, and we draw our own conclusion, we put it out on Facebook, right? This is what we do. Right? So these are highly, super, highly qualified devotees, close associates of the Lord, who recorded. And I know my Guru Maharaj, when he was writing Prabhupada's biography, he did a few books. How much careful he was. Like we asked him, from where did he get his notes? Right? Not only, he had a super memory. Giriraj Swami has a super memory. About him is that he again and again, from the day I know him, he tell the same pastime again and again and again and again. Meaning even from, he was in his 20s, he was speaking about Prabhupada. Till his 50s, mid-50s or later, when he was starting to write, he had told those pastimes of Prabhupada, I don't know how many hundreds and thousands of times. In the Vedic system of memorization, repetition is the way by which you memorize. All right? So then you could say, oh, okay, it was his memory. Then he was asked again, how did he do? So what did he do? He went into the Bhaktivedanta archive, where there were so many recordings of Prabhupada's lectures, talks. Even I hear myself, like I hear Prabhupada speaking about himself, his family in his lectures. So reliable sources. Then the third thing that he did was he interviewed very close disciples of Srila Prabhupada. I'm just explaining the way a biography is given or history is written, because Prabhupada's Lilamrita is history book. There's one book called Dancing White Elephant. If you don't have that book, please get that book. Very important for each and every Indian. If you want to know the history of India, you read that book. Dancing White Elephant. So he interviewed so many devotees, but you know how it is? I will give my account, you will give your account, everybody will give, their view of what happened, right? So whatever was coinciding. So this is what we call in teaching terms like academic integrity. All right? Academic integrity. And this is possible only for Brahmanas. All right? So with high integrity. So this Chaitanya Charitamrita, so I'm giving you a recent history, because, I'm speaking of my Guru Maharaj because I know him more than others. I'm sure others also have done in their own way, but I'm giving an example. And when he was asked, how did you write these books? So he gave them method. through which. So, moral and academic integrity. So this is how it was written. So by seeing, so this is text 17, by seeing and hearing the notes recorded by these two great personalities, a Vaishnava, a devotee of the Lord, can know these pastimes one after another. Can know these pastimes one after another. So the behavior, if again I said philosophy and execution, right? I mentioned that earlier. Meaning that there is a philosophy, it should be translated into action. If you cannot translate a philosophy into action, it means it's simply mental speculation. And if you see a person behaving in a certain way, or you believe the person has believing in it this way, and it doesn't match with the philosophy, it means also that you are simply lying. All right. Action and philosophy has to match. So that's how even, like epics, like Mahabharata, Ramayana, and all this, If we say Ramchandra did something with this, right? You can sit and think, and if you know philosophy, does it match? Does it match? All right, because anybody can write Ramayana, right? What Bollywood people, right? They write scripts. What they do, they take the seed. They take the seed because see, how much imagination can you have? You need a seed somewhere, a seed of history, and then you write a story around it. So if the story that you write doesn't match the philosophy, that it means it's simply imagination. How did it come distorted? Because you saw some other people who didn't behave properly, you copied their behavior, and then you put it on the other person's personality. Anyway, I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. Nothing exists outside of what's experienced. Nothing exists. Everything is within experience. But what we do, we take the behavior by another person and we superimpose it on on another personality, and the philosophy of that one personality does not match the philosophy of the other person. Anyway, you're able to understand, it's good. But I'm just making these points here. Because these are very disturbing, extremely disturbing things that creates havoc in the faith of people. Actually create havoc. Like Ramachandra is criticized, and youngsters, they gave up Ramachandra because of this type of manipulation. So why I'm saying all this, so that we read this Chaitanya Charitamrita with proper understanding, proper attitude, so that you can get the most of it. Amrita Radhe, is it that some people, they read Chaitanya Charitamrita and say this is all
Sorry, ma'am.
bakwas,
People
right?
Yes.
Is it? Yeah, see, this girl knows. Right? This is all invention. And then we go on Gormandal Parikrama. Even after they're doing the full Gormandal Parikrama and reading about Chaitanya, they just, there's all bakwas. Nonsense. So therefore, I'm explaining so that you understand how this Chaitanya Charitamrita is being written and where to put our faith. At the end of it all is a question of faith, but it should be a knowledgeable faith. Faith based firmly on knowledge. You know, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago. So it's pretty not long ago. It's
Yes.
contemporary, right?
Yes.
When we read, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, it's so much more before. And this is why people have the difficulty to relate to that.
So that's why philosophy need to be known, right? Philosophy should be firmly. Why did Prabhupada translate Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam? Now he's giving Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why did he not translate Mahabharata and Ramayana? Any guess? These are most important books, right? All of us, we grew up with Ramayana and Mahabharata. Why did he not translate Mahabharata and Ramayana and take it to the West? Why did he translate Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita? Why did he do that?
Mataji,
Good question.
because it is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who gave the Yug Dharma.
Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Why did he translate Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and not Ramayana and Mahabharata?
Mataji,
Logic.
already,
Okay, Rashmi, tell me.
Mataji, Ramayana is already presented by Tulsidas in the Avadhi language, which is easy to understand as compared to Sanskrit.
I'm speaking of English language. Why did he translate Mahabharata? He didn't translate Mahabharata and Ramayana. He translated Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita.
मैं गेस कर रही हूँ माता जी, क्योंकि रामायण, महाभारत द्वापर, त्रेता, द्वापर और कलयुग में आया है, तो क्या मतलब बहुत लंबा नहीं है, सतयुग की इतनी इसमें ये नहीं है। मैं गेस कर रही हूँ, ऐसे सोच रही हूँ।
Okay, Amrita Radhe, tell me.
Mataji, we read also in Chaitanya Charitamrita how Nyay, like while defeating, basically use of Nyay or logic is used to build up faith. So Prabhupada, you presented Bhagavad Gita and used logic to build up faith in the process of bhakti and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I think that's why he translated and took Bhagavad Gita with him to the West.
Yeah, because he has to present philosophy. If you just present stories, who will become devotee? I remember when I read Mahabharata as a child, 11, 12 years, 1 minute, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So when I was 12, finished reading Mahabharata Ramayana, I said, I want to know the philosophy. I want to know. I didn't use that word philosophy. I said, I want an explanation of these books. Okay, it's fine. I've read the story. I was like so impatient. I want to understand the meaning of this Mahabharata and Ramayana. And this is exactly what Prabhupada did. See, what I'm talking is very, very basic. Extremely basic what I'm talking about. The purpose. This Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The purpose is what here, what you call the Anubandh and what Band, right? All that thing. Vistar and etc. Philosophy. Prabhupada presented philosophy. He presented tattva. He didn't give the stories, the histories. Otherwise, nobody will see. These days are gone when you just sit at home, you read Ramayana and Mahabharata, and you say, yes, 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 I want to be like Ramachandra. I want to be like Pandav. This Kali Yuga, it is so andhakar, right? Darkness of Kali Yuga, where people happily want to break the regulative principles, recklessly breaking the regulative principles of dharma, right? Doubting each and everything, right? So, therefore, tattva had to be re-established. Philosophy had to be taught. So why did Srila Prabhupada translate Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj and not Chaitanya Bhagavat? I think maybe we read somewhere. Why? Because in
Chaitanya Bhagavat only had the stories.
okay.
And this one had a combination of both stories, leelas, pastime, plus the logic and the tattva, the philosophy. So it was a much more consolidated information that could connect people to the Almighty. So that way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the entire, I think, if you read this and you read Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Bhagavat is only stories. You can make Advait feel happy about it. But when you read this, this needs a lot. There is a lot. You get connected. You feel more connected.
See, already, I don't know how many classes we have already gone through in our own Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are only in Adi Lila, chapter 13, right? I don't know how many weeks, months we've been reading, right? So many days sufficient here. So this is what Prabhupada did. So very important. Okay, let's read on.
Mataji, he also actually first completed Chaitanya Charitamrita and then went back to Bhagavatam. Why did he focus on first completing Chaitanya Charitamrita?
Yeah, because he wanted to make Chaitanya Mahaprabhu known. Actually, in the first canto, who has read first canto of Bhagavatam?
Everyone.
All of us? What
I
is
see. I'm sure.
a preface to Srimad Bhagavatam first canto?
It's actually the entire Chaitanya Leela he describes in the preface.
Or gave a synopsis of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam through what?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Through the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yeah.
Right? His teachings. So,
Yeah.
Prabhupada had already translated Chaitanya Charitamrita, and the fifth canto, he was in the fifth canto, all right? So he got Chaitanya Charitamrita published, and alongside with fifth canto Bhagavatam, right? How do I know?
Mataji, it's there in Prabhupada Leela Amrit.
Okay, and who spoke about it?
Swarup Damodar.
Satya, no,
Tat
Satya.
Swarup Das
That
ji.
was Satyarup.
Where did he get it? Oh my God. Rameshwar Prabhu gave the story, right? See, this is all living history. Like Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita is the living history of philosophy, right? Of human and the divine, all right? This is Bhakta, Chaitanya Chandra, and the Bhakta Gana, right? So Srila Prabhupada also, Prabhupada was never alone, right? Was never alone. Prabhupada said all these devotees who came to help him, they are all, like they came from different loka, right? Can a 20-year-old boy or girl dedicate his or her life entirely to Prabhupada without break and propagate his philosophy? Is it possible?
No, they were sent. Yeah.
So you have to see beyond what your eyes can see, right? You find all these devotees sticking it out to Prabhupada into their old age. Are they ordinary people? Right? They associate with Srila Prabhupada. Isn't it? Till today, their bodies are completely finished. Body, mind finished. Still, Prabhupada. All right. Not ordinary. So this is present day. So what's been going on? See, it happens all the time. As we study Bhagavatam, see, it has to become real. For me in the beginning, I was thinking this is all imagination, Bhagavatam, I really thought this was all imagination. This is in some other world. Gradually, as we start to study, we start to observe, then we start to understand. Like this Kumbh Mela, right? Kumbh Mela, Prabhupada said, be careful, you don't know who's walking among you, right? You don't know which deva has taken which route is walking next to you. Isn't it? So we should not take even our great leaders cheaply. Of course, I keep saying it like Jesus Christ, that Prabhupada keeps writing about the preacher, how they are misunderstood, mistreated, crucified, right? So this is, anyway, let's go on.
Mataji, can I ask one more question, Mataji?
Yeah.
Mataji, like here we discussed that philosophy is so important, and philosophy is important to establish the supremacy of Krishna. And then
Supremacy of Krishna, position of Jeev, correct? Position of Jeev, understanding of this material world, because all of us, we have come here to enjoy, and understanding the sambandh.
but Mataji, like we are reading in one another session, Mirabai Mataji session, the pastime of how Bhishma Dev left his body. And then he just remembers all the pastimes of Krishna with gopis, how he saw Krishna on the battlefield. But ultimately, at our end moment, we have to remember pastimes. After we've established philosophy of Krishna in our heart.
What we are saying, that's exactly what we are saying. We are saying philosophy has to be executed. All right, exactly what we are saying. After some time, philosophy has to just take a back seat. It's your real life. It's not that you remain a student your entire life. You don't remain a student. You're just sitting with the books, this is how it works, this, right? Someday you have to get in the kitchen and cook, or you're going to just study recipes, right? Or if you're an engineer, you're only going to sit with books. You have to go and do the work. So it's not that we're going to spend our whole time only reading books, right? I'm studying philosophy. Pastime recorded in books, it is hearing, right? It is so that we become attracted to the Lord. This lila is actually to attract us, right? This smaranam, it is lila smaranam. It is not memorizing verses and reciting by heart. 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. No,
But
yes, Amrita.
Mataji, but Bhishma Dev, while he was leaving his body, he even spoke the Vishnu Sahasranam. That must have come automatically. I'm sure. I mean, that is actually his composition later on, written by Vyasadev. But that is something which came on his own. I mean,
See, what is this Vishnu Sahasranam? It is glorification of
of
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes.
Vikas Swami has given such a beautiful series of lectures on Vishnu Sahasranam. Find it. Find it beautiful. You know, all the qualities of Vishnu. It's a glorification. This is a philosophy.
It's complete. Yes, it's complete glory.
It's philosophy. Philosophy means, again, establishing the position of the Lord, establishing your own position, understanding Prakriti and the Sambandh among them. This is what we call philosophy. But glorification, just like all of us, right? When the Guru departs, right? How much we speak about him. Isn't it? We speak about him. Or we're just sitting and thinking of philosophy, we're thinking of what he is. Right? Amrita Radhe.
Mataji, I just wanted to summarize what I understood. So basically, through philosophy, we understand our sambandha with Krishna. That's how we are connected to Krishna. And then we execute that philosophy by trying to give our hearts to Krishna more and more. And as Rupa Goswami says, develop that greed of wanting to be with Krishna and serving him and pleasing him for eternity. Is that correct?
And hopefully before we die, we are going to do it, right? Or we're going to sit and wait when I go back home, back to Godhead, then I will do, right? It's not going to happen like this. You're going to take another birth. Again, you're going to be in sadhana. So at least the last 20 years of our life, right? Let us live in the spiritual world, right? If our present life, we are living in the spiritual world, then it's just one step into the spiritual world. Otherwise, we're still, we're still practicing. Still practicing. So we have to take birth again to practice. You understand what I'm saying? Sadhya has to be reached now itself. Yeah, sadhya meaning the goal. In this life itself, it has to be reached. Another chakra. Can we continue? Is this okay? Thank you, Amrita Radhe. You always summarize. Text 18. Balya poganda keshara yavana chari bhed. Ataevadi khande lila chari bhed. In his original pastimes, there are 4 divisions: Balya, Poganda, Keshara, and Yavana. Childhood, early boyhood, later boyhood, and youth. Lucky stops only at youth. It doesn't go into middle age and old age. Text 19. Sarvasya guna punanta Vande Phalguna Purnimam Asyam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Vatirna Krishna Namabhi. Phalgun, the month of Phalgun, that's the coming. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the full moon evening in the month of Phalgun. Phalgun is also a name of Arjuna, is it? Month of Phalgun, an auspicious time full of auspicious symptoms, when Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advented himself with the chanting of the holy name Hare Krishna. So how that happened? Falguna Punima Sandhyaya Prabhura Janmudai Sekale Daiva Yoge Chandra Grahana Hai. Falguna Punima Sandhya, meaning the evening, Prabhura, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Janma Uday, What is the meaning of Janma Uday? See, English is not translating properly, right? What is the meaning of Janma Uday?
Uday means, I suppose, like the sun. you know?
Rises, Uday.
Yeah, Janma Uday.
Here I think it's the moon rising.
Janma Uday. So in very crude language, you say at the time of his birth. Actually, it is Janma Uday, appear. Just like the sun appears on the horizon, right? Here the moon is appearing in the horizon. Janma Uday. Say Kali at that moment, Deva Yoga. Deva Yoga, accidentally, meaning by the arrangement of the Devas. The Devas made some yoga, right? Chandra Grahan, lunar eclipse. Hi, takes place. Accidentally, Deva Yoga. On the full moon evening of the month of Falgun, when the Lord took birth, coincidentally, there was also a lunar eclipse. Right? So we read in Bhagavatam, 5th canto Bhagavatam.
This Gaur Purnima also is eclipse.
Oh, is it? Okay, that's when Rahu decides, or Ketu, I don't know which one, decide to attack him. So we read just now in 5th canto about Rahu. So say that Rahu has only last how long? Fifth canto. Who heard the 5th canto? We just read it a couple of weeks back. So nobody is listening to the classes then. So Rahu appears for only one muhurt. This eclipse is actually for only one muhurt. And how is it dissipated? Okay, so take your 5th canto, please. 5th canto. When they describe the orbit and the Shishumar, Shishumar, in that chapter, I think. See, we need to know all this because we're in the material world. And here is being described what happened at that time. Deva Yug. Chandra Grahan Hai. So by arrangement of the Earth cycle, at that time, so I don't know which one, Rahu, Ketu, who came, we'll read now. So there was a Chandra Grahan. And how is that Grahan dissipated is described in 5th canto Bhagavatam. How? Any guess?
By Krishna time.
How, Shikala?
Harinam.
Yes, by the Sudarshan Chakra.
Sudarshan.
Okay? By the Sudarshan Chakra. So meaning that when eclipse is happening, so it cannot stay because remember Rahu was created how?
So the churning, the Amrit, which he
The blood dropped, after the blood of the demons.
Hey God, what are we talking about?
His
What is
head was
Rahu created?
cut
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Sudarshan Chakra cut his head.
Yeah, Sudarshan Chakra, that's how Rahu was created.
so how much he drank, that much he was alive, and whatever he's gone.
I'm speaking how it was created by the
The
cutting
atom
of the
Sudarshan Chakra.
Sudarshan Chakra. So Rahu came up and Ketu came down, right? So they were created by the Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Lord. So this Rahu, when it eats up the moon or sun, it cannot be more than one muhurt. And it is driven away immediately by The Sudarshan
Sudarshan
Chakra of the Supreme. What is the Sudarshan Chakra? I'm now testing you on 5th Canto Bhagavatam. What is the Sudarshan Chakra? Any guess?
Mataji, the holy name of the Lord. I haven't heard your lecture.
Sudarshan Chakra is the weapon of the Lord.
The Sudarshan Chakra is the blazing light. Right? It's the super blazing light of what? Knowledge. And Sudarshan Chakra is also the time factor. Please, all of you, read 5th Canto of Bhagavatam in great elaboration. Prabhupada has described this. Okay, let's continue. So that's why I wanted to say here that it was time for Chandra Grahan, but what happened? What happened?
Eclipse, lunar eclipse. So everybody started chanting the holy name.
Chandra, by divine arrangement, Deva Yoga, according, like when there's movement of the planet, the yoga that's formed. So during that yoga, what was the time? It was the Surya Grahan. Yoga means combination, right? So a combination was happening that there is a Chandra Grahan. But what happened?
पर चैतन्य महाप्रभु जैसे चंद्र का उदय हुआ.
Yes. And then what happened? Yes. Then therefore what happened?
और आप मतलब ग्रहण के बाद लोग हरि हरि नाम करना.
Therefore the Grahan was cut.
Dissipated.
All right. Meaning this Kali Yuga is darkness personified. It is Rahu and Ketu time for their reign. All right. Okay. This Kali Yuga, the reign of Rahu and God knows what. Right? But Mahaprabhu came, Uday, Janma Uday. He came to dissipate the darkness. The verse is there, right? The verse is there.
Any signs are darkness, any signs.
Sun, did we read it? The sun and the moon, Nitai and Goranga came simultaneously. Right? They came. They appeared to dissipate the darkness of Kali Yuga. So this Grahan was happening. Exciting looks like. Text 21. Hari Hari Balek Loka Harasita Hana Janmila Chaitanya Prabhu Nama Janmaya. In jubilation, everyone was chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hari Hari. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then appeared after first causing the appearance of the holy name. So Surya Chandra Grahan happened. So meaning the sun was being attacked. All right. But as the sun getting attacked, here the Harinam is happening, preceding the appearance of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. '22. Janma Balya Poganda Keshara Yuga Kale Harinam Lauyayla Prabhu Nana Chale. At his birth, in his childhood and his early and later boyhood, as well as in his youth, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, under different pleas, induced people to chant the holy name of Hari, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So therefore, in this Kali Yuga, if we are to escape this darkness of Chandra Grahan or Surya Grahan, we have to chant the holy name of the Lord, because this is the Sudarshan Chakra of his cutting the darkness of the eclipse. So this Grahan, what does it do to us? When there is Chandra Grahan or Surya Grahan, what does it do to us?
Creates inauspiciousness.
What inauspiciousness does it create?
Ignorance.
Covers the light.
Hmm?
It it covers the light of the sun or the moon gets covered by it, and of course in darkness.
Okay, I'm doing fifth canto revision now. Okay, what does it do?
Ignorance.
What is the moon according to fifth canto Bhagavatam? What is the sun according to fifth canto Bhagavatam?
The moon is the mind.
Yes.
So it creates. So the mind is. You had explained the mind is very frivolous. It's very chanchal. So it becomes during an eclipse.
Yeah, the mind gets bewildered.
Bewildered.
Mind gets bewildered. And the sun, what happens to the sun?
Sun is the eyes of the Lord. It's knowledge. It's light. So the sun gets covered.
Fifth canto, what is sun? It's the false ego. All right? The false ego. And what does Rahu do to the false ego? According to you, guess what will it do? It will
It will
inflate.
elevate. It will elevate.
It will inflate.
Increase.
Already we under false ego. Rahu comes in there. What does he do? It inflates the false ego. Right? So this chanting of the holy name will pacify the mind and will bring down the false ego to its proper ego. These are all, it's very nice, and I don't know why this is explained here, but so that's why Prabhupada says Bhagavad Gita is preliminary, graduation is Bhagavatam, then Chaitanya Charitamrita is post-graduation. So if we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam, then we can understand the sutras. Earlier we read, right? Sutras. This is what Krishnadas Kaviraj is doing here. In sutra, in synopsis, he's speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the same point will again explain how Vistar. Right? Then we'll understand more. But I'm already giving you, like the background. Okay? All right. Then we should stop here because then another section is starting. Okay, so I guess we have, and it's going to be another section. Thank you very much. We had a nice discussion, I think. Unexpected. We thought, Chaitanya Charitamrita is so easy. We just run through it. Right? It's just stories. Somebody told me Chaitanya Charitamrita is so much easier than Bhagavatam. I read it fast, right?
No way.
And now we are finding it's not that easy. Each and every shloka, we're stopping and going back and forth. Huh? So, thank you for giving me this opportunity to read with all of
Thank
you.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Pass into
Once again,
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.